Sometimes the deepest wounds don't come from strangers. They come from the people we once trusted the most, our siblings. The ones who grew up with us under the same roof. The ones who shared our childhood, our secrets, and our dreams. And yet, their betrayal cuts sharper than a knife because we never saw it coming. We never imagined they could be the ones to turn against us. You see, betrayal from siblings carries a special kind of pain. It's not just the act itself, it's the broken bond, the shattered trust, and the silent question that keeps echoing in your mind. How could you do this to me? This pain doesn't fade easily. It follows you, shapes you, and challenges you to become stronger than you ever thought you could be. But here's the truth most people don't want to admit. There are certain betrayals you should never forgive. Not because you are bitter, not because you hold on to anger, but because forgiving them would mean allowing them to keep their power over you. Some wounds should not be excused. Some betrayals should be remembered because they remind you of who you cannot trust and who you must become in order to rise. Today, we're going to talk about the 7 betrayals from siblings that should never be forgiven. 7 moments that, if they've happened to you, will hurt you, shape you, and ultimately make you stronger. These are not small mistakes. These are not innocent errors. These are the choices that change relationships forever. And if you've been through them, I want you to know you're not alone. Your pain has a purpose. Your scars have meaning. And your story is far from over. What they tried to break in, you will become the very thing that fuels your growth. So let's start this journey together. Let's shine a light on the pain that most people are too afraid to speak about. Because the moment you recognize betrayal for what it is the moment you take your power back. The first betrayal is silence. When your siblings know the truth, when they see the injustice, when they hear the lies whispered against you, and they stay silent. They don't defend you. They don't protect you. They don't stand beside you. Instead, they let the world believe something about you that isn't true. That silence is betrayal. It's worse than words because it comes from someone who could have stopped the storm, but chose to let you drown. That silence tells you everything you need to know. When it comes down to it, they won't risk anything for you. They won't fight for you. They'll let you fall to protect themselves. And here's the painful reality: you should never forgive that. Because silence in the face of truth is cowardice. And if they've chosen once to stay silent while you were attacked, they will choose it again. To forgive this betrayal is to accept being abandoned over and over again. But listen closely. Their silence can teach you something powerful. It can teach you to speak louder, to stand taller, to fight harder for yourself. It can show you that you never truly needed their voice, because your voice is enough. The very silence they gave you can push you to discover the strength you didn't know you had. You don't forgive silence. You use it as fuel. You let it remind you that you will never stay quiet in the face of lies, that you will not depend on anyone to defend your truth. Because when others refuse to stand for you, you learn to stand for yourself. This is betrayal number 1. And as we move forward, you'll begin to see just how each of these betrayals shapes you, not to make you weaker, not to leave you broken, but to mold you into someone unshakable, someone who refuses to bow to pain, someone who transforms betrayal into growth. Because at the end of this journey, you will see the truth. The ones who tried to destroy you will be the very reason you rise higher than you ever imagined. The second betrayal is comparison. When your siblings measure your worth against theirs, not with love but with envy. When instead of celebrating your victories, they turn them into reasons to compete. When your success becomes their shadow, and instead of standing with you, they stand against you. Comparison is a silent poison in families. It starts small, a joke, a comment, a subtle remark. But then it grows. Suddenly, every step you take forward is met with their bitterness. Every achievement is dismissed or mocked. They don't see you as a brother, a sister, a teammate. They see you as a rival. And rivals don't protect. Rivals don't uplift. Rivals betray. And here's why this betrayal is so devastating. Siblings are supposed to be your first circle of safety. They're supposed to cheer you on when the world tries to drag you down. But when comparison takes root, that safety turns into a battlefield. You find yourself fighting for approval, fighting to prove your worth, not realizing that the fight itself is the trap. You should never forgive this betrayal. Because comparison kills love. It destroys trust. It creates a gap between souls that no apology can bridge. If a sibling chooses to see you as competition instead of family, they've already decided that your relationship will never come before their ego. But here's the shift: this betrayal, as painful as it is, can awaken something extraordinary in you. It teaches you to run your race without looking over your shoulder. It teaches you to value your progress without needing anyone's applause. When you've been compared and belittled, you learn to build an identity that no one else can measure. Do you realize how powerful that is? When you no longer need validation, you become unstoppable. Their envy might have been meant to hold you back, but it forces you to rise on your own strength. And when you stop playing their game, you win without even trying. Because here's the secret. Comparison only works if you let it. If you buy into the lie that you are in competition, but when you refuse, when you say, "I'm not here to outshine you, I'm here to outgrow who I was yesterday," you break the chain. You stop being their rival and start being your own greatest ally. So never forgive the betrayal of comparison. Instead, use it as proof that you were never meant to walk a normal path. Their jealousy is simply evidence that you carry something they can't ignore. And if your light makes them uncomfortable, let it shine even brighter. The pain of being compared will push you to a place of independence most people never reach. It will force you to build confidence from within, not from the praise of others. And that kind of confidence, it can't be taken away. This is the second betrayal. And just like silence, it can feel like a knife in the back. But you are learning with every cut. You are growing with every scar. And piece by piece, you're becoming someone whose strength can no longer be shaken by the people who tried to break it. We've uncovered betrayal number 1 and betrayal number 2. But the journey isn't over yet, because there are deeper wounds. There are betrayals that shake the very foundation of family, that force you to ask yourself, am I truly alone in this fight? And in those moments of doubt, the truth reveals itself. Not everyone born into your family is meant to walk beside you. Some are meant to teach you lessons you never asked for but desperately needed. Get ready, because the next betrayal is one of the most painful of all. And yet, it's the one that will teach you how to turn loneliness into strength and rejection into the fire that drives you forward. The third betrayal is abandonment. When the very people who should have been by your side when the storm hit walked away instead. When you reached out for a hand to hold and they turned their back. When you needed family the most and your siblings disappeared. Abandonment leaves a wound that cuts deep into your soul. It whispers lies to you. You're not worth staying for. You don't matter enough. You're alone. And those lies can echo in your mind for years if you let them. Because when a sibling abandons you, it's not just their absence. You feel it's the death of the promise that family means forever. But here's the hard truth. You should never forgive this betrayal. Not because holding a grudge makes you stronger, but because forgiveness in this case means forgetting who they showed you they really are. When someone proves that your pain is too heavy for them to carry, believe them. When they abandon you once, they'll abandon you again. And yet, abandonment has a hidden gift. Because when everyone leaves, you discover the strength you never knew you had. You realize that the ground you're standing on is more solid than you thought. That you don't need their presence to survive, you only need your resilience. Think about it. The people who walked away revealed a truth you might not have seen otherwise. They showed you who was never meant to walk with you into your future. And though it hurts, that truth can set you free. Free from depending on the wrong people. Free from begging for loyalty that should have been given without asking. Free from chains disguised as love. Abandonment teaches you the hardest but most powerful lesson. You can build without them. You can rise without them. You can thrive without their support. And when you finally stand tall, stronger than you've ever been, you'll realize something. Maybe their absence was exactly what you needed to become, who you were always meant to be. So no, you don't forgive abandonment. You embrace it as the turning point. The moment where your story shifts from needing people to becoming someone unstoppable. The pain they caused becomes the very reason you refuse to give up. The hole they left behind becomes the space where your new strength grows. You might feel that loneliness today. You might feel that ache every time you remember how quickly they left. But hear me clearly. Loneliness is not your enemy. Loneliness is your teacher. It strips away the noise, the false connections, the shallow promises, and it forces you to meet yourself. And when you finally do, you realize you are enough. This is betrayal number 3. And it may feel like the cruelest one of all. But the truth is, this betrayal has the power to push you further than any comfort ever could. Because here's the reality. Those who abandon you are often the same ones who couldn't survive the level of growth you're heading into. They weren't strong enough to stay, but you are strong enough to keep going without them. Remember this. Their leaving does not mean you are unworthy. It means they were unprepared for the greatness within you. And one day, when they look back, they'll realize they didn't just walk away from you. They walked away from the chance to witness your rise. The silence betrayed you. The comparison cut you. The abandonment left you alone. But each of these wounds is shaping you into someone who cannot be broken. And as we move forward, the next betrayal will show you a truth even more dangerous. Sometimes, the ones closest to you don't just leave, they choose to tear you down while standing right beside you. The fourth betrayal is sabotage. This is when your siblings don't just leave you behind, they actively work against you. They plant seeds of doubt in others' minds. They spread rumors. They twist your words. They quietly celebrate your failures while pretending to care. Sabotage is betrayal with intent. It's not an accident. It's a choice. And it stings deeper because it comes from people who know you inside out. They know your dreams, your weaknesses, your fears. They know exactly where to strike. And instead of protecting that knowledge, they weaponize it against you. This kind of betrayal should never be forgiven. Because sabotage is not just betrayal of trust, it's betrayal of love. It's not about a mistake they made in anger. It's a strategy, a plan to see you fall. And when someone shows you they would rather see you lose than stand by your side, you must believe them. But let's pause here for a moment. Because sabotage, as painful as it is, holds a hidden opportunity. Do you know what it is? It teaches you to build in silence. It forces you to move in wisdom. It pushes you to protect your vision so fiercely that no amount of poison can destroy it. The people who sabotage you think they are cutting you down, but in reality, they are sharpening you. Every lie they spread makes you hungrier for truth. Every trap they set makes you smarter at navigating the battlefield. Every time they try to dim your light, you learn how to shine brighter in the dark. Think about it. Diamonds are only formed under pressure, and sabotage is pressure. It forces you to prove to yourself that you don't need anyone's permission to rise. That no scheme, no Leah, no betrayal can stop the destiny inside you. And here's the beauty of it. When you learn to rise above sabotage, you become untouchable. You become the person who doesn't just survive attacks, you thrive because of them. The betrayal meant to crush you becomes the very reason you soar higher. You cannot forgive sabotage because forgiveness here means pretending it never happened. And if you pretend it never happened, you forget the lessons it gave you. You forget the need to protect your energy, to guard your dreams, to move with wisdom. So, instead of forgiveness, let sabotage become your motivator. Let it remind you that your dream is too valuable to leave unguarded, that your vision is too important to be exposed to everyone, that your growth is not for everyone to celebrate. Some people will try to destroy it. And that's exactly why you must keep moving forward. And here's the truth. People who sabotage others always reveal themselves in time. Their bitterness, their envy, their hidden motives they can't hide forever. But if you stay consistent, if you stay focused, if you keep building when they keep plotting your success, will expose their betrayal louder than any words ever could. This is betrayal number 4. It is one of the most painful, because it turns love into a weapon. But it is also one of the most powerful, because it teaches you resilience that no betrayal can erase. We've walked through silence, comparison, abandonment, and sabotage. Each one is painful. Each one leaves scars. But each one also shapes you into something unshakable. And as we move forward, the next betrayal will take us even deeper, because it's not just about what they do behind your back. It's about the moments when they stand in front of you, look you in the eye, and make you feel small on purpose. The 5th betrayal is humiliation, when your siblings use your flaws, your mistakes, or your past as weapons to embarrass you. When instead of lifting you up, they drag your name through the dirt in front of others. When they laugh at your struggles, mock your dreams, or expose your vulnerabilities not in private, but publicly, where it cuts the deepest. Humiliation is not just words. It's an attempt to strip away your dignity, to make you feel small, to remind you of your lowest moments. And when it comes from the people who should have been your safe space, it creates a wound that lingers for years. You begin to second-guess yourself. You replay their words over and over again in your mind. And slowly, you start believing them. But let me tell you something. You should never forgive this betrayal. Because humiliation is not about love, it's about power. It's about control. The moment you forgive someone who humiliates you, you give them permission to do it again. And if they can laugh at your pain once, they will laugh at it again. Yet, hidden within this betrayal is something life-changing. Humiliation teaches you to stop depending on outside voices for your worth. It teaches you to rise above opinions, to detach from the need for approval, and to discover the truth about who you are. Because once you've been humiliated and survived, you realize that no insult, no joke, no mockery has the power to define you. Think about this. Some of the most successful people in history were once laughed at, mocked, rejected, humiliated for daring to dream differently. But instead of letting the humiliation bury them, they let it fuel them. They let the laughter echo as motivation, not destruction. And eventually, their results silenced every voice that once tried to shame them. That is the power you gain when you refuse to bow to humiliation. You learn to stand tall even when the world points and laughs. You learn to hold your head high even when they try to drag it down. You learn that your dignity does not come from others. It comes from within. So don't forgive this betrayal. Instead, transform it. Let their words be proof that you're on a path they can't understand. Let their laughter remind you that you are different. And being different is the exact reason you will succeed. Because here's the truth. Humiliation only works if you believe it. But when you know who you are, when you own your story, when you accept both your flaws and your strengths, humiliation loses its power. What once made you feel small becomes the very thing that makes you stand taller than ever before. This is betrayal number 5. And yes, it hurts, it stings, it burns, but it is also one of the betrayals that can build the strongest version of you. The version that no insult can shake, no mockery can break, no laughter can silence. We've uncovered betrayal after betrayal silence, comparison, abandonment, sabotage, and humiliation. Each one is painful, but each one is shaping you. And as we continue, the next betrayal takes the wound even deeper. Because it's not just about being mocked or laughed at. It's about the knife that comes from betrayal wrapped in disguise. Betrayal that pretends to be love while slowly tearing you apart. The 6th betrayal is manipulation. This is the betrayal that doesn't always scream loudly. It whispers. It hides behind smiles and false kindness. It pretends to be love, but it is control in disguise. Manipulation is when your siblings twist your emotions, guilt you into decisions, or use your loyalty against you. It's when they play the role of protector on the surface but pull the strings in the shadows. They don't tell you what to do. Outright, they make you feel like you owe them, like you are selfish if you don't bend to their will. This betrayal is dangerous because it doesn't always feel like betrayal at first. It feels like obligation. It feels like family duty. It feels like guilt. And by the time you realize what's happening, you're already entangled in their web. You've sacrificed your dreams for their comfort. You've traded your voice for their approval. You've lived their script instead of writing your own. And here's the truth. You should never forgive manipulation. Because forgiveness here often turns into permission. And manipulators don't stop. If they succeed once, they will try again. If you bend once, they'll push further. Until you wake up one day and realize your entire life has been built around their expectations. Not your calling. But as devastating as it is, manipulation can also become one of your greatest teachers. It teaches you the value of boundaries. It teaches you to say no without apology. It forces you to break free from the chains of obligation and discover the freedom of living for yourself. Because here's the reality. Love does not manipulate. Love does not control. Love does not demand that you shrink so someone else can feel bigger. True love liberates, not binds. And once you recognize that, you stop confusing manipulation with care. You stop mistaking control for love. And you start demanding relationships that are built on truth, not tactics. Yes, the betrayal of manipulation is painful. It makes you question your own judgment, your own strength, your own ability to trust. But once you heal from it, you become wiser. You learn to read between the lines. You learn to trust your instincts. You learn that anyone who tries to make you feel guilty for chasing your own growth does not deserve a seat at your table. Never forgive manipulation, not because you are holding bitterness, but because you are protecting your freedom. You are declaring that no one, not even your own sibling, has the right to script your life. This betrayal may break your heart, but it will also awaken your independence. It will show you that you are strong enough to live your truth, even if it means disappointing those who once controlled you. And once you taste that freedom, you will never allow yourself to be manipulated again. This is betrayal number 6, and it brings us to the edge of the journey. Because if silence, comparison, abandonment, sabotage, humiliation, and manipulation weren't enough, there is still one betrayal left, and it is the deepest cut of all, the one that doesn't just wound your trust, but shatters the very foundation of family. The final betrayal is the one that changes everything. It is the moment when you realize that not everyone with your blood deserves a place in your life. And it is the betrayal that forces you to rise, once and for all, into the person you were always destined to become. The seventh betrayal is betrayal of trust, the ultimate betrayal. When your sibling takes what you gave them in confidence, your secrets, your weaknesses, your heart, and uses it against you. When the person you trusted the most becomes the one who exposes your deepest wounds. This is not just betrayal, it's devastation. Because trust is the foundation of family. Without trust, there is no bond. Without trust, there is no safety. And when a sibling breaks that trust, it shakes you to your core. It makes you question not only them, but yourself. How could I have trusted so blindly? How could I not have seen it coming? But here's the truth you must hold on to. You should never forgive this betrayal. Because once trust is broken in this way, it can never return to what it once was. You may rebuild something, but it will never again be whole. And pretending it can be is just another form of self-deception. Trust is sacred, and if someone destroys it, especially someone bound to you by blood, it reveals who they truly are. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. You cannot unknow it. You cannot erase it. But here's the paradox. While betrayal of trust destroys something inside you, it also builds something new. It forces you to become sharper, wiser, more discerning. It teaches you to no longer give your loyalty cheaply. It teaches you that trust is not owed, it is earned. This betrayal will hurt. It will ache in your chest like a wound that refuses to close. But it will also awaken you. Because once you've survived the breaking of trust, you learn that no one, not even family, has the power to destroy you completely. You begin to build your foundation on something stronger than trust in others. You build it on trust in yourself. You learn to rely on your judgment, your resilience, your vision. And that shift changes everything. Because when you trust yourself fully, betrayal can no longer break you, it can only redirect you. So no, you don't forgive betrayal of trust. You honor it as the final lesson. The moment when you stop expecting people to carry what only you can carry. The moment when you realize that sometimes family is not chosen by blood, but by loyalty. That true siblings are not always born into your life. They are the ones who stand by you when everyone else betrays you. This is betrayal number 7, the deepest cut, the one that leaves scars you will never forget. And yet, it is also the betrayal that shapes you the most, because it forces you to rise above blood, above broken promises, above shattered bonds, and build a life on your own terms. You've walked through silence, comparison, abandonment, sabotage, humiliation, manipulation, and betrayal of trust. 7 betrayals that may have broken pieces of you, but also shaped the strongest version of you. And now, as we reach the end of this journey, there is one final truth you must carry with you. Pain can break you, or pain can build you. Betrayal can bury you, or betrayal can shape you. The choice is yours. You've heard the 7 betrayals: silence, comparison, abandonment, sabotage, humiliation, manipulation, and the betrayal of trust. Each one cuts, each one wounds, each one leaves scars that never fully fade. But here's the truth that changes everything. Those scars are not signs of weakness. They are proof of survival, proof of strength, proof that you were hurt, but you did not stay broken. Family betrayal is one of the hardest pains to carry, because it isn't just about what was done to you, it's about who did it. The people who should have protected you, who should have stood with you, who should have loved you without condition. And when they betrayed you, it felt like your world collapsed. But listen carefully. That pain is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your rise. Because the very betrayals that tried to bury you are the same ones, shaping the strongest version of you. The version who no longer stays silent. The version who no longer seeks comparison. The version who no longer fears abandonment, sabotage, humiliation, manipulation, or betrayal of trust. The version who knows how to walk alone if necessary and still grow. Never forgiving these betrayals is not about holding on to bitterness. It is about holding on to wisdom. It is about refusing to allow the same hands that cut you once to cut you again. It is about protecting your soul, your peace, and your growth. Because here is the secret. Growth is always born out of pain. The fire that tried to destroy you becomes the fire that refines you. The betrayal that tried to silence you becomes the reason you speak louder. The rejection that tried to shrink you becomes the force that pushes you further than you ever thought possible. And one day, when you look back, you'll realize their betrayal was the gift you never wanted, but desperately needed. Because without it, you might have stayed small. Without it, you might have settled for less. Without it, you might have lived for their approval instead of your purpose. So today, you stand taller. Today, you walk stronger. Today, you no longer wait for their support. You create your own foundation. Today, you no longer beg for their love. You build your life with or without it. This is the truth I want you to carry. Your siblings may have betrayed you, but they do not define you. Their silence does not silence you. Their envy does not weaken you. Their absence does not leave you empty. Their sabotage cannot stop you. Their humiliation cannot destroy your dignity. Their manipulation cannot steal your freedom. And their broken trust cannot break your destiny. You are more than what was done to you. You are more than the betrayals you've survived. You are a fighter. You are a survivor. You are the living proof that pain can shape greatness. So, never forgive these 7 betrayals. Not because you are stuck in the past, but because you are stepping into your future. A future where you are wiser, stronger, sharper, and unshakable. A future where betrayal does not define you, it fuels you. This is your story. This is your growth. And this is your rise. Because at the end of the day, betrayal is not your ending. It is the fire that fuels your growth.